Paul, a servant of Christ Jesus, called to be an apostle and set apart for the gospel of God. The gospel he promised beforehand through his prophets in the holy scriptures regarding his son, who was a descendant of David according to the flesh, and who through the spirit of holiness was declared with power to be the Son of God by his resurrection from the dead. Jesus Christ our Lord. Through him and on behalf of his name we receive grace and apostleship to call all those among the Gentiles to the obedience that comes from faith. And you also are among those who are called to belong to Jesus Christ. To all in Rome who are loved by God and called to be saints, grace and peace to you from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. First, I thank my God through Jesus Christ for all of you, because your faith is being proclaimed all over the world. God, whom I serve with my spirit and preaching the gospel of his son, is my witness how constantly I remember you in my prayers at all times, asking that now at last by God's will I may succeed in coming to you. For I long to see you so that I may impart to you some spiritual gift to strengthen you, that is, that you and I may be mutually encouraged by each other's faith. I do not want you to be unaware, brothers, how often I plan to come to you, but have been prevented from visiting until now, in order that I might have a harvest among you, just as I have had among the other Gentiles. I am obligated both to Greeks and non-Greeks, both to the wise and the foolish. That is why I am so eager to preach the gospel also to you who are in Rome. I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes. First to the Jew, then to the Greek, for the gospel reveals the righteousness of God that comes by faith from start to finish. Just as it is written, the righteous will live by faith.
Yeah. The wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of men who suppress the truth by their wickedness. For what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from his workmanship, so that men are without excuse. For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking and darkened in their foolish hearts. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images of mortal men and birds and animals and reptiles. Therefore God gave them over in the desires of their hearts to impurity, for the dishonoring of their bodies with one another. They exchanged the truth of God for a lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is forever worthy of praise. Amen. For this reason God gave them over to dishonorable passions. Even their women exchanged natural relations for unnatural ones. Likewise the men abandoned natural relations with women to burn with lust for one another. Men committed indecent acts with other men and received in themselves the due penalty for their error. Furthermore, since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, he gave them up to a depraved mind to do what ought not to be done. They have become filled with every kind of wickedness, evil, greed, and depravity. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, and malice. They are gossip, slanderers, God haters, insolent, arrogant, and boastful. They invent new forms of evil. They disobey their parents. They are senseless, faithless, heartless, merciless. Although they know God's righteous decree that those who do such things are worthy of death, they not only continue to do these things, but also approve of those who practice them.
You, therefore, have no excuse, you who pass judgment on another. For on whatever grounds you judge the other, you are condemning yourself, because you who pass judgment do the same things. And we know that God's judgment against those who do such things is based on truth. So when you, oh man, pass judgment on others, yet do the same things, do you think you will escape God's judgment? Or do you disregard the riches of his kindness, tolerance, and patience, not realizing that God's kindness leads you to repentance? But because of your hard and unrepentant heart, you are storing up wrath against yourself for the day of wrath. When God's righteous judgment will be revealed, God will repay each one according to his deeds. To those who by perseverance in doing good seek glory, honor, and immortality, he will give eternal life. But for those who are self-seeking and who reject the truth and follow wickedness, there will be wrath and anger. There will be trouble and distress for every human being who does evil. First for the Jew, then for the Greek. But glory, honor, and peace for everyone who does good. First for the Jew, then for the Greek. For God does not show favoritism. All who sin apart from the law will also perish apart from the law. And all who sin under the law will be judged by the law. For it is not the hearers of the law who are righteous before God, but it is the doers of the law who will be declared righteous. Indeed, when Gentiles who do not have the law do by nature what the law requires, they are a law to themselves, even though they do not have the law. So they show that the work of the law is written on their hearts, their consciences also bearing witness, and their thoughts either accusing or defending them on the day when God will judge men's secrets through Christ Jesus, as proclaimed by my gospel.
Peace, everybody. Grace and peace. We are back. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. This is the Monday morning meeting. I appreciate y'all for tapping in this morning. Grace and peace to you all. Just in case you're wondering, my eyeball did not fall out of my eye yesterday. Oh my gosh. My niece is calling me. 1 second. Back up in the building. Yeah, my eye is okay now. Praise God. I don't know what happened yesterday. If you weren't a part of the show last night, I was talking about the fact I had some allergic reaction to something, and it made my eye look like Will Smith in the movie Hitch. I meant to bring that picture in here. Hold on, let's see. Like, I promise you, my eye looked crazy yesterday. I'm like, why does my eye look like this? Yeah, this is exactly what my eye was looking like yesterday. Hold on. I'll pull the picture up. Just in case you're wondering. No, the show is not serious. If anybody's asking that question, we don't know. This is what my eye looked like yesterday. Grace and peace. I was like, yo, what in the world is wrong with my face? Okay, hold on. Pull it in. Pull it in, Jason. All right. That's what my eye looked like yesterday. I was like, what the world is wrong with my eye? I had some allergic reaction to something. So shout out. But needless to say, thank y'all for your prayers. I'm back, I think. I don't know. Some people might say that might be an improvement. I don't know. Anyway, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much, everybody who's jumped in. Wait. Oh, y'all on YouTube. What are we talking about today? Y'all are in this chat already just yucking it up. Shout out to everybody who's already jumped up in here. Hey to you. Good to see you. Chrissy's up in the building. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to y'all. What's up, Mikey? How are you? Or Mickey, rather. Please forgive me. Chrissy's number 2. Good to see you. If you already hit the like button, go and jump up in the best live chat and tell me what number you are. Absolutely. What's going on, Rosie? Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. I think I was number 1 or 2. It's all good. Shout out to you, Anna. How are you? Good to see you. Grace and peace to Amethyst, one of the mods up in the building. Thank you so much to the moderators. I want to say that right now. Thank you to the moderators. You all really are a blessing that you don't fully understand. And shout out to the chat. Y'all, we got the best moderators on the planet. Now, this is the best live chat on the planet. It's the most electrifying comment section, but I got to come up with the most spectacular mods, the most marvelous mods in the multiverse, I guess, because the mods are amazing. Shout out to the mods. If you see the little wrench or a little shield next to somebody's name, they're a moderator on this channel, and they definitely keep this channel moving in the right direction. So thank you to the mods. Shout out to y'all. What's going on? Mike, good morning. Merry morning. Merry Monday morning, y'all. I like that. What y'all think about the most marvelous mods of the multiverse? What y'all think about that? I just kind of came up with that, by the way. What's going on, Pink? How are you? Greetings to you. All right, we got a good one this morning. I got a fun one this morning for y'all. There's some conversations that we've been having out here in these YouTube streets that I think would be very fun to have. Last night, on last night's live stream, I did something I've never done before. And a lot of you might not know this. I used to be a classroom teacher, right? Taught for 15 years. And so we went through some TikToks looking at new teachers and teachers setting up their classrooms for the beginning of the school year. Lots of them were like in the lower grades because I taught second grade. I got big big heart for the lower grades. But I think I got one or two. I think we saw like one or two high schoolers, but most of them have been lower grades. If y'all like that, let me know, because I found some more. Y'all got me going down this TikTok rabbit hole, and I found some more, and it's a pretty good one. So let me know if y'all like that. Maybe we'll do that this week. I'm going to take President Firstborn to college tomorrow, Wednesday, but we'll make it work this week. If y'all like it, let me know. That's what we did last night on the show. And it was a lot of fun. And we also had a special production from Body Cam Bureau Media, who produced a video specially for our channel last night, some body cam last night. It was super fun. Check it out. And of course, if the mods could drop Body Cam's link in the chat, Body Cam Bureau's link in the chat, we'd love to support them as well. But so yeah, let me know what y'all thought about the classroom, from a classroom teacher, reviewing other teachers setting up their classrooms. And I know this for a fact. Somebody said, well, we need to see what their classrooms look like after day one. Look, by day one, they'd be frazzled and azzled. So they just accept what you get and don't pitch a fit. So yeah, let me know what y'all thought about that one. That was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to doing that. I also want to say, by the way, thank you to everybody who's been picking up merch in the merch store. The That's Crazy shirt, the Jay Wood podcast, all those other things, the Let's Go, the Obscure podcaster, all that kind of stuff like that. I just looked today and I'm almost sold 100 pieces in the store. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much, whether it be hats, t-shirts, the honk if you're going to honk if you're suing Candace Owens, sticker, whatever, bumper sticker, whatever. Thank you so much. Let me pull that in as well. I appreciate y'all jumping in there and supporting the channel through that means. Thank you so much. I'm letting you know that we'll be celebrating 5 years on YouTube next month. And so we have a lot of fun stuff planned. There will be some new shirts dropping as well. So new content, new merch will be popping up in there. Shout out to Edie Lowe. Shout out to her. We got a couple of models in here. Oh, by the way, if you do pick up something, send me a picture and I'll add you to, where is she? There she is, Mackenzie. All right. We'll drop you in as a model. We'll make you a model. We won't add the catwalk sounds, but shout out to you nonetheless. So thank y'all so much. We've almost hit 100 pieces in. There's Monique Dusson. We almost hit 100 pieces in the store. Thank y'all so much for grabbing something out of the merch store. All right, let's get at this thing, Jason. Let's go. We've been talking a long time. All right. Have y'all heard about this professor at Cambridge University who basically finagled his way in? He's been lying about everything that he's done. Have y'all heard about this story? This story is crazy work. So let's pull this in. Let's talk about it. Pull this in. Grace and peace, everybody. Let me put me over here. Let's get at it. Green hearts in the chat where you can hear. Watch the. Oh, shout out to Hannibal's Hungry. We're going to be looking at him. We're going to look at 2 of his videos today, by the way. All right, let's go.
Well, we start with this most amazing story, front page of the Mail and other papers. Plagiarism professor resigns as Cambridge investigate.
Cambridge University professor at the center of a growing plagiarism controversy had...
Wait, I don't like his name. Change your name, Mr. Jason Arday. So in 2023, he's the youngest Black professor at the University of Cambridge, professor of sociology and education, and a fellow of the Jesus College. Oh my. Okay, we got
has resigned from all his academic posts.
Jason Arday, professor of sociology, who became Cambridge's youngest Black professor in 2023, resigned last night under immense pressure because it suggested that he's basically made up his whole life story. I mean, there's no easy way of saying this, including plagiarizing his work.
It's not small lies, it's massive lies on every piece of his origin story and biography, his books, his publications, his interviews, his scholarly work, across the gamut.
Cambridge's youngest ever Black professor just quit, walked away from the top job in his whole field. Why? Because the receipts came out, and once you see them, you cannot unsee them. Let's get into it. So who is Jason Arday?
Okay, I'm going to make a statement here. I'm going to get in trouble for this, so y'all just put trouble in the chat. But just put trouble in the chat. If you have a male professor that uses, is that eyeliner? Is that eyeliner he's doing around his eyes? Let's just go ahead and say that that's a red flag that you cannot let slide. Sir, what are you doing? What are you doing? I know that there's people talk about men wearing makeup. No, we're not going to normalize that. We're not going to normalize that. Why do you have this? Is it eyeliner? Is that what that is? Biblical worldview? You know I'm terrible at this. Is that eyeliner that's around his eyes? I probably need it around my eye. Is that what that is? Sir, that doesn't need to be, that does not need to be normalized. No, that Cambridge, y'all should have saw that and y'all should have already started asking questions. There we go. Yeah, sir, you put eyeliner around your little eyes. Nope. We got problems, sir. We got problems. We got questions. And y'all should ask better questions. Let's go.
A few years, he was one of the most famous academics in Britain.
My name is Jason Ade. I'm Professor of Sociology of Education at the University of Cambridge, and I'm very fortunate to be the author of Great and Unfortunate Things. 12 years after learning to read and write, I gained a PhD, and then I ended up becoming one of the youngest professorial chairs in Cambridge's history.
And his story was incredible. In 2023, at 37 years old, he became the youngest Black professor in the history of Cambridge University. Now, that's a really huge deal. Cambridge is one of the most respected schools on earth. But it wasn't just a title. It was his incredible backstory. Arde said that he was autistic. He said he didn't speak a word.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Because I'm getting two things here. I'm getting two problems here. If he earned all those accolades to get him to Cambridge, that's different. Did he lie about was he like Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, who just like made up all of her background, like literally everything? Now, of course, his plagiarism of the book and all that kind of stuff since coming to Cambridge is different, in my opinion. So I want to hear how this all works out. Right. How did they vet that's what I'm saying. Like, how did they vet these out? Did he like have, he sent Jason Bourne in there to, finagle in the computer system and give him some credentials that he didn't earn? Oh no. Can you please email it to me? Do you have it, Deb? Oh, you're going to make me go off the rails today. Okay, let me look for a while we're doing this. Okay.
Until he was 11 years old. He said he couldn't read or write until he was 18 years old. And somehow he went from that all the way to the top job at Cambridge. The media loved it. Good Morning America, People Magazine, papers all over the world. He was the feel-good story of the year and true inspiration. But then people started to go and check out the details, and that's when it all fell apart.
Anybody can go look. There are pages and pages of verbatim copied text. Cambridge flat out denied the plagiarism charge, even though we can see with our own eyes the text side by side, very extensive examples. He even uses the same copy editing mistakes as the dissertation he was stealing from.
A New Times analysis of the academic's work found that his research contains impossible evidence and is littered with inconsistencies.
So stop and let that sink in. Not a sentence here or there, pages and pages of verbatim copy text. Verbatim means word for word copy. And here's a detail that kills any coincidence defense that he may have. He copied the same editing mistakes as the paper he took it from. Think about that. When you write your own work, you make your own mistakes. You don't magically make the same typos as a stranger. The only way you inherit someone else's mistakes if you copy their homework and didn't even proofread it. There was an error right in the title of his dissertation because he lifted the language from some other person's work and didn't catch it. The title, the one line everyone gets to read first. This is not sloppy citation. That's not, he forgot a footnote. And the crazy part of the work that he copied, it was 188 sentences, exact sentences. The chances of two complete strangers writing 188 sentences in the same way is nearly impossible. And speaking about numbers that just don't add up, like especially with how things are like so expensive nowadays, let me put you on something that actually protects your wallet. Gas, groceries, eating out, even on the tightest budget, there's no escaping them. If you've been on this channel since the early days, you know that this channel started with gig economy videos, DoorDash, Uber Eats, doing deliveries, driving all over the city for years. I've been a fan of Upside. I used it back then when I was doing gig work. After a while, it became a habit. I checked it before I even pulled in the gas station. Here's how it works. Open the app, claim an offer, pay with your card like normal, and get paid. That's it. And it's cash back, not points that you'll never use, not credits that expire. It goes straight to your bank account. And with gas prices going crazy these last few months, now is the time. There's over 100,000 spots that take it. Upside has given $1 billion back to its users. It even stacks with your credit card and loyalty rewards. That's cash back on top of your cash back. If you drive a lot of miles, you need this app. Download the free Upside app and use the promo code Hannibal to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Scan the code right here to find out how much you can earn.
They had too few black people in senior roles in their university. They were very keen to get black people in, and therefore getting this guy in as a black person was the priority, irrespective of what they could have analysed in the quality of his work.
Nothing. I mean, if anyone had read any of his articles, they'd have realised immediately that this was not.
So this is a problem. And here, let me big screen this, because this is a problem that came out of the summer of love 2020, when everybody was, bending over backwards and twisting themselves into pretzels to prove that they were not racist or biased, bigots, whatever. And they said, well, at any cost, we need to look at the externals of a person, and we got to get them in this office. We got to fill this office with more diverse people. We got to fill these positions with a plethora of different types of folk, because we only have monocolors here, and we got to mix it up. And the problem with that is, and this is the outcropping, and I don't even know if it's even like an unintended consequence. It's almost like a guaranteed. You're going to get fraudsters. As a matter of fact, we're going to look at another one in a moment that happened in New York. You're going to get fraudsters because all you're doing, your motives are not right. The Bible says that even the kindness of the wicked is cruel. Even in the process of trying to be kind, people who are wicked do cruel things. And the kindness turns into cruelty. And so this is just another example. Y'all bent yourselves over backwards. You flipped yourself over into these lyrical pretzels, trying to, quote unquote, prove that you're not black or you're not racist by, let me hire these black people. Let me do this. And then you hired a charlatan. You hired a huckster. And this has happened so many times, you cannot expect anything different. I guess the better thing is, show me examples where it's actually worked well. When you've gone out and hired somebody because of race, you went out and hired somebody because of their externals, and you got a good result. Not because of their ability, not because of their acumen. Because if they had looked at their ability, at this gentleman's ability, they probably would have seen what these people are saying. Because it's like, clearly his book was published. It wasn't like it was hiding on a thumb drive in his desk. It was published. All of his work was available. How did y'all not check it before you made him the youngest professor at Cambridge? You didn't, because you were busy running after optics. We got to get somebody of color. We got to mix it up. You got to get the guy that wears guy liner and whatever else. You had to get that. And guess what? There you go. This is what you get. And somebody said right here, the left's racism of low expectations. And they got to lower the expectations down. The bar is in hell at this point. Right? That's how low the bar is. And they just keep doing this. And it causes people to think that highly melanated people are not qualified. You see this is the cruel part. So now the qualified high melanin people, the qualified brown people, whatever people group you want to get caught up in, are now looked at, because of this guy, they're looked at suspect. And they might be as qualified as today is Monday. They might be as accomplished as a noonday sun. But because of yahoos like this, people are going to start looking at them suspect. That's what the problem was with affirmative action. That's what the problem is now with this DIE hiring process. That's the problem. You've lowered the bar, so now people don't think that anybody of color or a black person or whatever minority group is actually a qualified person. There you go. That's the problem. And y'all deserve it, though. Cambridge, you deserve it. If your company suffers because of this, if your product suffers because of this, congratulations. That was the consolation prize for doing this. You should have stuck to your standards and said, no, we only hire qualified individuals. We're only looking for the qualified, and we're not looking at the externals. We're not going to sit there and say we're going to hire only black people. We're going to set a standard. There must be so many percentage of black men. There must be so many percentage of women. No, it should be 100% qualified employees. And that's what y'all get. Like, I feel sorry for nobody in this video, except the word Jason, because I for some reason or another, I like that name.
Not someone who should be in a university at all, really. So,
But
yes,
he'd be good on social media. He'd be good on prospectuses. He'd be good for clicks.
So they're talking about DEI. So the critics aren't just blaming him. They're blaming the people who propped him up, put him there, basically used as a poster boy. Cambridge wanted a feel-good story, a young black professor with an incredible background and backstory.
The dude's story sounds crazy. Y'all get what you get. This is what you get. Instead of saying instead of a feel-good story, we need somebody who can teach good. We need somebody who can speak good. Apparently somebody who can write good. I'm being funny. You got my point. But no. See, that's what y'all get. I don't feel sorry for you at all. Not one bit. And I don't know what this outfit is. Shout out to Cambridge. That outfit, this picture right here is suspect. Let's go.
It looks great on the brochures, great for clicks, good for the image. So the critics say they got him in because of how the story looked, but never mind the actual quality of the work. So when you think about it, if this is true, think about how cynical that is. That's not lifting anybody up. That's using a person as a marketing prop, putting someone in a chair they weren't ready for because it makes them look good. Then obviously they're going to hang out to dry when everything falls apart. But really, who failed here? Of course, he's responsible for what he copied. Looks like he copied other people's work, and looks like he fabricated a lot of his personal life.
I want to talk about just a couple of the lies. He's got a memoir coming out or a book. They report that an initial version of his book published by Simon & Schuster and his speaker bio stated that he has been a prolific fundraiser. I told the audience about this yesterday, raised over 5.5 million pounds for 80 national charities over a 20-year period. And he says, including by running 30 marathons in 35 days, 9 of which were allegedly with a broken leg, 300 miles in 3 days, and 600 miles in 6 days. Simon & Schuster quietly edited Arday's bio at some point between May 19th and July 24th, 2025, to remove the exact amount of money raised by Arday and to omit any mention of the running feats.
But what about the institution that supposedly vetted him? They either didn't read his work or they read it and didn't care. Both are embarrassing. They wanted the headline more than they wanted the truth.
Why was him running an ultra marathon? Why was him impersonating David Goggins? How did that get him into Cambridge? Y'all, we're gonna have to run this back. Running feats was kind of crazy. I did hear that part. Shout out to that. Yeah. One thing I know about runners, look, I respect runners. Very rarely, runners really only respect persons who run or are in athletics. Very rarely do they accept armchair quarterback type of game. Runners are a different breed. So that being the case, like, they're not going to take advice from people who don't run, right? There might be, maybe they'll get some, nutrition advice, muscle reconditioning and such of that nature, advice, stretching. But for the most part, runners respect runners. Sir, what were you doing? Sir, you just lying to get friends. These are some Dean Karnasek type of numbers. What are you talking about? 600 miles? Sir, please. Please, all the please.
So here's where things get actually crazy here. So his supporters put out a letter, a big one. Members of parliament, lords, whatever that is, professors, big names, and it calls the plagiarism claims entirely false. Case closed, right? Not so fast, because the letter got quietly changed after people signed it. At first, the letter bragged that both universities ran thorough investigations and found nothing, but then the scrutiny came, and somebody went back to soften that line. The word thorough, gone, deleted, quietly. No note, no announcement, just change underneath the people who already signed it. And it wasn't just the words. Some big Cambridge names on that letter got scrubbed off too. One professor was listed near the top, and then her name vanished completely. Another one kept his name, but lost his Cambridge title. 14,000 people signed a document defending this man, and the same document keeps getting rewritten in the dark. If the defense is so rock solid, why are the big names backing away? When your own defense...
I never thought about that. Do they do that often? Can you imagine you signing up for a GoFundMe or some online petition And you think it's for, to make Adidas the national shoe of, the multiverse, and you sign that petition, and then lo and behold, they go and change it to something else? Yo, I've never thought about that. I always thought they were locked in place. I just learned something today. I did not know that. I was truly under the impression that once you make a GoFundMe, it never changes. I did not know that. Okay.
This letter starts changing his story, that tells you something. Innocent things don't need constant cleanup.
In his resignation letter, Arde said it should not be mistaken for an acceptance of the narratives that have surrounded him.
The relentless accusations, speculation and public commentary have taken a profound toll on me and on those I love.
Arde insists his resignation should not be seen as an admission of wrongdoing and maintains that the campaign against him is racially motivated.
And here he quits. Now, the interesting thing is that there's some people that believe that he wrote that resignation letter with ChatGPT.
Yeah, so Arde published a 600-word resignation letter yesterday, which was published on the website of the Good Law Project. We ran that letter through 4 market-leading AI detection tools. 3 of them came back saying that they believed that the letter was either entirely or almost entirely generated by AI. Now,
don't take the wheel, Jesus. Please take the wheel. How are you going to get in trouble for plagiarism, false narratives, and all that stuff? And then you see, this is why AI, this is probably why you wasted 4 gallons of water and you could not just write a resignation letter? Like, you really needed AI to write a resignation letter? Man, come on. Whoo. Man, this is some crazy work. This is some crazy work. Y'all are tripping. Okay, finish up, Jason. Let's get done.
Should be said that these tools aren't totally foolproof, but they typically tend to look at the sort of markers and signatures that AI-produced text tends to leave, stuff like syntactic uniformity, certain words that AI tends to favor
all the time.
And on the basis of 3 of those market-leading AI detection tools that we ran them through, they thought that it was 90+%.
But let's pretend he actually wrote it. He wants you to know that quitting doesn't mean he's guilty. Don't mistake this for accepting the narrative, he says. But here's the problem. Cambridge, his own university, just opened a brand new investigation, not the old one, a fresh one, into his qualifications and whether evidence was fabricated. And within hours of that news, he was gone, resigned immediately. So think about the timing. He didn't quit when the first accusations dropped. He didn't quit through weeks of headlines. He quit the moment a real independent investigation came knocking. And that's the one that he couldn't control. People who can prove they're innocent usually stay to prove it. You fight, you clear your name. You don't walk away from the biggest job of your life and call it healing. He read the room, he saw what was coming, and he got out first. So like I said before, a man doesn't give up the biggest job of his life over a misunderstanding. He gives it up when he knows what's coming. You can still say it's allegations. Cambridge never finished its review. One university did clear him earlier, but come on, I don't agree with that at all. Listen, 188 sentences, most likely he lifted a lot of work from this lady. We can do the math. We can look at 188 matching sentences and one of the 100 billion odds and think for ourselves. Again, this is not a gray area. This is not a oops mistake. This is a wall that you'll probably see from space. So he can talk about race, but the real story isn't just one man. It's every big institution that saw the warning signs, the shaky claims, the copied lines, and looked away because the feel-good headline was just too good to check. They wanted a story more than they actually wanted the truth. And that's the real scandal. And that's the part that no one wants to say out loud. But let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below. Do you believe that he did not plagiarize? Let me know. Thank you for taking time to watch the video. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Well, we start with shout out to Hannibal is Hungry. Now, I saw somebody brought up and asked, y'all do me a favor, put Hannibal in the chat. Somebody asked me about the where did I see that? Just saw it, just scrolled by, asked me what I want to comment about the whole what's going on in the WNBA. There it is right there. Shout out to Jim. He said, how about the situation with Sophie Cunningham and Carrington? You know what? I want to talk about the WNBA. I'm not gonna lie, because I think that story is absolutely fascinating. We might talk about that, but I'm gonna talk about it from a different angle, and I might reach over here and ask Hannibal to give me 2 cents. Hannibal had a very interesting take on what's going on in the WNBA. And matter of fact, if y'all make sure we get those likes up, get my likes all where they need to be, we might do that. This is special, so I did not even have this unplanned. So I'm trying to add it to the. Yep, got it ready. Okay. We might come back and talk about that one. So y'all make sure you get the likes up. Moderators, let me know if we got them lights where they need to be. So I'm gonna probably I want to talk about this doggone DIE hire up there in New York. It didn't fall out of my eye. It didn't fall out of my socket. It looks much better today, Mindy. Thank you so much. I showed him earlier. I said I looked like Hitch yesterday, but I look better today. I look better. I'm still keeping the cap down so y'all can't see it. I don't want to scare nobody. I had an allergic reaction to something yesterday. I had my eyeball looking crazy. Yeah, I would love to have Hannibal come on. Shout out to Hannibal, man. I really respect him as a content creator. Him and Nate. So maybe we can have them come by for the birthday party. If you don't know, in September will be 5 years of this podcast, and we might do something special. Maybe we have some guests come through. That'd be fun. But okay, I don't know. Have y'all heard about this? This is the craziest thing ever. A police commissioner in New York, her son is a Pookie. Her son is a YN. Her son is a gang member who has been shot by the police in the past, right? Her husband is a convicted felon, drug and gun charges. This is just a perfect family. How did she become a police commissioner? You just can't make this stuff up. But here it comes. This is the part. Sit down, strap in, put down your beverage, no sharp objects. This is the part. The mom, who is a police commissioner, drove a car while her son committed a drive-by. Y'all think I'm lying, don't you? You think I'm lying. Y'all put in the chat, what? What? See, you thought, I'm trying to tell you. Really? Yo, this story is absolutely, we might take the rest. Look, I did not plan for the morning meeting to be long. See, why? This story is absolutely insane. You cannot make this up. So we're gonna talk to Nate. Shout out to Nate the lawyer. We might jump over there to Hannibal too, because Hannibal talked about it. A lot of people talk about it. This is the craziest thing I've ever saw in my life. You are a police commissioner, just in the hierarchy of police. You're a white shirt. You're making good money, and you are running a drive-by with your 20-year-old gang-affiliated son. You cannot make this stuff up. Right. Real life is crazier than fiction. I just want to know this. This is my problem. This is my question. How did the conversation go? Hey, Mom, how was work today? You lock up any criminals? Did you get anybody thrown in jail? Okay. Hey, Mom, I'm thinking about, hold on, we gotta do it. We gotta do it this way. No, we're not serious over here. This show is not serious, by the way. If anybody's asking that question, stop asking that question. All right. So here, this is how we'll do it. Hey, Mom, how was work today? Oh, today, work was fine today, little Pookie. How was your day? Oh, Mom, it was fine. I was just out there on the block selling rocks, popped a couple of ops, that kind of stuff. The stuff I do because I'm a gang member. Oh, no problem, little Johnny. You just keep it going. Anything else going on today? Hey, Mom, I'm thinking about running a drive-by at one of my ops. Do you mind driving a car? Oh, well, baby, let me go take off my uniform and put away my police stuff. And sure, I'll put on my Shai Pusti and my Nike Tech, and I'll drive the car for you. Sure, little Ray Ray. Thanks, Mom. You're the best. How did that conversation go that you're actually running a drive-by for your child? You cannot make this up. Y'all think I made this up, don't you? Y'all still think I made this up? This story is absolutely insane. I don't want to bring it on yet because it's so insane that I can't actually believe how insane it is. A grown woman with a good job in policing, is committing a drive-by for her son. You know what? Never mind. Just play the video, Jason. Shut up. Play the video. Let's go. Greenheart's in the chat where you could hear.
Lackard appointed Deputy Commissioner of Wellness for the city in 2020 during the George Floyd protest.
Deputy Commissioner Jennifer Lackard launched the Wellness Precinct located on Gramerton Avenue last month.
A lot of the people who we encounter are in a mental health crisis. Some are combatant, some are, really, really aggressive, and some are not.
A few moments later.
And right now at 6, there is news of a shocking arrest. The Mount Vernon Deputy Police Commissioner is now fired and facing attempted murder charges.
Jennifer Lackard was a second in command at the Mount Vernon Police Department, serving as its Deputy Police Commissioner for more than 6 years. She helped keep crime off the city streets and arrested criminals when she needed to. But this morning, she was greeted at the door by police officers, but they were there to put handcuffs on her and now charged alongside her 20-year-old son with attempted murder.
So the police... I'm sorry. Okay. Somebody, I keep bringing this up. I know. I really, truly need somebody to create a time machine that allows me to go back in time, and I need to be able to shrink myself down and be able to sneak into her house, because I got to hear this conversation specifically. There's a lot of conversations I would love to hear, in the past and stuff like that. The Sermon on the Mount and Jesus healing the blind man. I would love to hear that, but I want to hear this one too. How did this conversation go? Mom, you are a police deputy commissioner. Do you mind running a drive-by in the family van? We're going to roll around the block 3-4 times. Do you mind? Do you mind? And if I'm not mistaken, I think Dad was in the car too. Now I think about it. Yeah, so I need this. I need this in my life. On my list of I need this in my life, I gotta hear how this conversation went. I just gotta know. I gotta know.
Police in New York State had a great idea. Because of the George Floyd incident, let's hire an unqualified black woman to hold the position of deputy commissioner and see what happens. Now, she's about to go on trial for attempted murder.
See, this is what I'm saying. In the process of trying to be overly, really unfair, they have now created a situation where now everybody that looks like this woman is going to get the side eye. It don't matter. They could be as qualified and as proficient and as effective as the noonday sun, but because of their attempt to overcompensate because of George Floyd, now everybody who looks like this woman is going to look suspect, because every black woman isn't doing this. Every black man isn't doing this stuff. But because y'all dummies sat there and allowed this dumb stuff to happen, guess what? Now everybody's scrutinized like this. That's how. Let's go.
Let's talk about it.
Shout out to Nate the Lord. My nephew.
This is Jennifer Lackard. She served as the Deputy Police Commissioner for Wellness and Public Safety at the Mount Vernon Police Department, making about $140,000 a year. Now, to understand this story, I gotta rewind the clock to 2020 during the George Floyd protest period. Now, during this time, police departments, especially in the East Coast, were trying to diversify quickly. So they decided to hire Jennifer Lackard. So who is Jennifer Lackard? Well, she's the person who is running Reentry LLC. It's a Bronx-based organization focused on helping people who are formerly incarcerated transition back to society. So with absolutely no law enforcement or police experience, the officials there in Mount Vernon thought it would be a good idea to make her Deputy Police Commissioner for Special Services. And with the title of Deputy Police Commissioner, she got to oversee an entire precinct of her own.
This is the newest precinct of the Mount Vernon Police Department, and it's focused on public health.
A lot of the supports are not there.
Deputy Commissioner Jennifer Lackard launched the Wellness Precinct located on Gramerton Avenue last month. a first-of-its-kind police reform initiative in the Hudson Valley aimed at intercepting people who need services instead of handcuffs.
A lot of the people who we encounter are in a mental health crisis. Some are combatant, some are, really, really aggressive, and some are not. And some are frequent flyers because they don't have support.
So now Lackard has a son. Her son's name is Chase, and Chase is what's known as a bad seed. He's a
Okay, I'm just going to drop this picture right here. I'm just going to leave it right here. I'm not going to even say anything about it. I ain't going to say anything about it. Nope. I ain't going to say anything. I'm not going to say that Chase has been chased by the police. I'm not going to say that Chase Lackard is lacking morals. I am not going to say that. I'm a better person than that. I am not going to say that Chase lacks morals. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But y'all put lack in the chat, please. Never fails. Never fails.
gangbanging crazy lunatic who lives up there in the Bronx. And here is a highlight reel of some of his more recent interactions with police.
Y'all not ready for
NYPD
this?
says Jennifer's son Chase has had multiple contacts with police.
Wait. Hold on. Y'all, please do me a favor. I know I keep telling y'all, put down your beverages, all sharp objects, get them away from you. No farm equipment. You are not prepared for this gentleman's. This is the deputy police commissioner's son, like her biological son, right? Lactard. He lacked Maxon. You're not ready for this. You're not ready for this. So the apple, look, this apple didn't even fall off the tree. This apple rotted on the tree. This apple rotted in the root, in the seed form. You're not ready for this. I'm like, come on now. Come on. For real. Watch this. I'm going to give you a big screen. Make sure you're not driving any farm equipment. Watch this.
Surviving a shooting, later being arrested on a gun charge. And in another incident, police claim he pointed a gun at officers before they shot him.
Now, that last incident where her son, Chase Lackard, shot at police, that was actually caught on camera. Here's the news report from that incident.
Tonight, we are learning the son of a high-ranking police official in Mount Vernon is now facing charges in connection to an officer-involved shooting in Soundview. News 12's Tim Harfman is in the alert center with the very latest. Tim.
Sources say the teen is the son of Mount Vernon Deputy Police Commissioner Jennifer Lackard. The NYPD says her son Chase has had multiple runs with police, including one with apparent gang ties, as well as a gun arrest in September.
We have someone walking around the community of the Bronx in the Soundview section with a loaded semi-automatic weapon who was arrested 3 months ago in the streets of Manhattan and indicted.
His thumbs like that?
This probably shouldn't have happened.
That's NYPD Chief of Patrol John Schell following Friday's officer-involved shooting in the Bronx. Police now identifying the suspect as Chase Lackard of Soundview. The NYPD says there was some sort of fight involving a gun when police came face-to-face with Lackard holding a loaded 9mm gun. We're told officers shot the 19-year-old twice in the leg. It all unfolded at Stevenson Commons near Lafayette and Underhill Avenues in Soundview.
You see, this is video that the NYPD released. This is from a camera at the shooting. There you see Chase Lackard in the hoodie, in the gray hoodie. He pulls out a gun here, right there.
2024. This is
That's
not
crazy.
Recent. This happened
almost 2 years ago. So pulls out this loaded gun, points it at police officers, who you can roll a video. It doesn't fire, but he points it at the officers, who then fire at him, and he is hit. He's okay.
Was he arrested in this case?
He was arrested.
Do they know who he was shooting at or what he was shooting
Well, he didn't actually shoot at anybody.
Oh,
he
just took the gun out.
Yeah, he just took the
So you have the deputy police commissioner's son out there acting a fool, pointing guns at cops, getting shot. Just total madness.
Police also say Lackard was involved in a gang-related fight in January 2023 when the then 17-year-old was shot in the chest on an MTA bus in Soundview.
I'm going to say it. Talk about bad parenting. Like, you can't keep your son from acting a fool? So now your next question is, well, where's the father in all this? Well, the father's name is James Lackard, and James Lackard previously served 4 years for federal drug conviction charges.
The 2012 federal indictment shows he had previously served 52 months on a drug conviction before later pleading guilty.
I'm not saying that you can't be police commissioner if your family has a past, a checkered past, but they've turned themselves around. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that just because the husband had a jacket that the wife can't be police commissioner. What I am saying is that these people are actively involved in criminology. They're actively involved in it in 4K, in real time. They're not reformed, they're not turning a new leaf or anything of that nature. They are still involved in it. Man, that's crazy work. It's going to get so... I still want to see, I want to know how they ended up talking about this.
Guilty in another federal drug case.
So the husband is a convicted felon. The son is probably going to be doing decades in prison because he's an active gang member. And the mom is the deputy police commissioner. So yeah, this doesn't seem like it's going to end well. So now let me fast forward to June 29th, 2026. Now Chase had to go in front of a judge because remember the shooting case that had occurred a couple of years ago with the cop? He was still dealing with that. So mom drove her son to the courthouse, but while they were down there was a mass shooting that played out. Now, some people outside the courthouse actually caught the aftermath of what happened on camera. Here's that video.
It appears the person who did the shooting got away, and we don't know exactly where that person went, but they're looking for them, and hopefully nobody got injured throughout that whole thing. So what they're looking for right now is a bullet. So they just found somebody's phone there, and I guess a bullet on the side.
Now, this is where things get interesting. You have a drive-by shooting at a courthouse in the Bronx. So we have a couple of things that helped officers determine who was responsible for this. First thing officers did was go to the surveillance cameras, right? There's surveillance cameras all around the courthouse.
Okay, those are those cameras, y'all. Now, I don't know the difference between surveillance cameras and flock cameras. Are they the same? Are they, cousins or whatever like that? Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that social engineering tag was either. I don't know what that was. So we don't have to turn this into a conversation about flock cameras. I got a video coming up later on about that. But I don't know. I'm still conflicted about it, y'all.
Seeing everything that's going on, detectives looked at the videotape and they saw that the shots were coming from a tan Chrysler Pacifica. Now, when they were able to rewind the tape, they saw that this car had circled the courthouse about 4 times. Then they saw a black man put on a black mask and then jump into the tan Pacifica. Then the person with the mask on pointed a gun out of the back of the car and then shot toward a group near the courthouse. So next, police have a car. They also have a license plate. They look up who the car belongs to. And
how you doing a drive-by in a minivan? In a nice looking minivan at that. How you over here soccer mom drive-by it? Wine box gangsters. How in the world is this happening? Yo, oh my gosh. Wait, okay, I'm gonna back it up. Y'all, I know you're gonna hate me. Shout out to the best live channel on the internet. Y'all, come on, laugh with me. That's a nice van, man. I can't. Okay, Jason, let this go.
Now, when they were able to rewind the tape, they saw that this car had circled the courthouse about 4 times. Then they saw a black man put on a black mask and then jump into the tan Pacifica. Then the person with the mask on pointed a gun out of the back of the car and then shot toward a group near the courthouse. So next, police have a car. They also have a license plate. They look up who the car belongs to, and lo and behold, it belongs to the Lackards, one who is a deputy police commissioner. So police wanted to make sure they got the right car, because it's totally possible if you want to commit a drive-by shooting, you'll steal a car, commit the shooting, and then drop the car off later. So police set up surveillance around the Lackards, and they found that, guess what? They were still using that same tan Pacifica. And on top of that, their son matched the identity of the person who put on the mask, jumped in the back of the car, and shot at the group. So now with all this evidence, police got a search warrant to look at the phone messages between the Lackards to see what the heck is going on. Was this some type of horrible coincidence, or were the Lackards involved in a drive-by shooting?
Wait, please do not. Please tell me. Okay, y'all, please. Okay. I cannot. This is just not serious. This is so unserious. It's making my eye water, y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay. Please tell me they did not go back and forth like, hey, Mom, I need to do a drive-by. Oh, little Johnny, I'm on my way. I'll make some cookies for you. Like, please tell me they did not have this in text message. Please. I'm not, because I'm telling you right now, if it's in text message, I'm going to act a fool. I'm going to pass out. It's a family function. Bro, I'm telling you, this has got to be. Wait, here's a terrible vehicle. Wait, what's wrong? I think the Pacifica looks nice. I'm sorry, because, and maybe I should be more clear. I said I think it's nice because we've been looking for another van for my mom, right? And so I was looking at some vans that have been retrofitted for mobility, and I think they're nicely made. I mean, I guess that's what I was saying. Like, I'm not like out here campaigning for them. Oh my gosh. He's stupid, Max. No, the mom is. I'm sorry. The mom is. The mom is the only one that did not have a record. And she gave it all up. Okay. She's going to do the cookout. She's going to the potluck. Y'all bring this back in, Jason. Let's go.
By the courthouse.
So here's the text.
They got the text
so Chase Lackard allegedly, according to the indictment, texted his mother, "Be directly in front when I leave." She responds, when? He writes back, "You can't just sit directly outside. It has to be timed right."
So essentially here you have the son saying, I'm about to do a shooting. You can't, Mom, you can't just sit out there. It's going to be too obvious.
So then police re-examine the video and see it's actually the deputy commissioner who's driving the car. And they drive around for about an hour or so waiting for this opportunity to get it just right.
We sent a text. You can't just sit.
Yo, please. Oh my God. Why is this thing so fun? This thing is choking me out. I might die here, y'all. Tell my wife I love her. How in the world are you this brazen and stupid? I'm sorry. First of all, the role that she opened up in the precinct is kind of frilly anyway. It's a made up role anyway. They said that. But my gosh, in the morning, man, like, I mean, you're what kind of, can you imagine, like, okay, think about this. What kind of gang members has she interacted with that she gave them a pass? I mean, that's got to be a serious question that's asked now. Like, did she involve herself with gang members and put them through the soft, gentle policing rather than them getting thrown in Rikers and whatnot like that? Is it possible? Is it possible that she interacted with rival gang members through her son and maybe push them in a different direction than doing the right thing and send them all to Rikers? These are going to be questions that come up. Yo, this is horrible. Y'all are wild. Why are you people like this? Shout out to Mike. Man, Mike is blessing folk with memberships left and right. If you got a membership from Mike, please make sure you say thank you. Put his name on it and just don't put Chase Lackard on it. Say thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike, for blessing 5 people with memberships, man. Thank you so much. This thing right here is staggering. Like, how do you, but it's not just that her son is a criminal, and her husband is a criminal. She drove the getaway car while he's shooting out the back window. Y'all, you cannot make this up. Oh, finish up, Jason. Let's go.
Directly outside. It has to be timed right. Prosecutors say the three then drove around for nearly an hour before Chase Lackert allegedly fired several shots.
So police have everything they need. It's all on video. They went around the block a whole bunch of times. They committed the shooting. They have the shooter getting into the car, putting on the mask. They have the mom in the front seat of the car driving it. They have the text messages. So it doesn't look good for the deputy commissioner with absolutely no police experience who was given one of the top law enforcement jobs in Mount Vernon. So the city of Mount Vernon has a DEI issue, it seems like, and they put out a statement immediately firing the deputy commissioner.
The city of Mount Vernon issuing a statement saying, effective immediately, the city of Mount Vernon has terminated Jennifer Lackert's employment. The allegations are unrelated to her duties and do not stem from any conduct associated with the department. Lackert appointed Deputy Commissioner of Wellness for the city in 2020 during the George Floyd protest.
Now, because of the video evidence, text messages, and all the other stuff, police and prosecutors decided to throw the book at them. She's being charged with attempted murder as a co-conspirator.
A stunning fall from grace for Jennifer Lackert. She was serving as Deputy Commissioner of Wellness at the Mount Vernon Police Department, a role focused on police reform and community trust. Yesterday, she pleaded not guilty to a laundry list of crimes, including attempted murder, conspiracy, and criminal possession of a weapon. According to a newly unsealed criminal indictment, the 49-year-old and her family coordinated a shooting outside Bronx Criminal Court on June 29th. Prosecutors say Lackert's 20-year-old...
If somebody wants to help a brother out, because I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull myself together. If somebody can find this indictment, and if they have the text messages, I will do a theatrical reading of the text messages. I'll bring in the other camera. Maybe I'll tap another content creator, and we'll just do this, and we'll read it theatrically. But I got to know, do they have the text messages of them planning it? Oh my gosh. If they have the text messages of them planning it, and I'm like, hey, Mom, I want to roll up on these fools, Mom. You got any time you can do that? Sure, little Johnny. Let me clean up the minivan. You can pop them from the minivan. That is going to be the best. Please let that happen. Oh my gosh. Get done with this thing, man. This is crazy. I did not think it was this crazy.
Son Chase texted his mom to be waiting outside court when he came out. Investigators allege she then wrote back warning him, quote, "You can't just sit directly outside. It has to be timed right." Authorities say Lackert, her husband, and her son then circled the block with a loaded gun for 45 minutes before pulling up behind the courthouse. That's when prosecutors say Chase fired multiple shots into a crowd before the family fled. Fortunately, no one was hit. Her bail was set at $75,000 cash, and she is due back in court in September.
So, as you just heard, Mom was let go with $75,000, the getaway driver. But what about the son? Well, the son got no bail. He's got to stay his behind in jail because he's just a problem.
This afternoon, 20-year-old Chase Lackert had his own arraignment. He walked into the courtroom flanked by officers, not saying anything other than to mouth the words "not guilty" when asked to enter a plea. He's been ordered held without bail.
Both shots are fired in the direction of a group of individuals. This appears to be gang related, as one of the individuals that was in that group is a member of a rival set. And this defendant, our investigation has revealed, is a member of a gang as well.
Now, I'm going to say it. If you don't want to hear it, I'm going to say it. This was a DEI disaster. This woman obviously was a DEI disaster. She had no experience, absolutely none. And they made her the second most powerful person in the police department, the deputy commissioner, which is crazy to me. Crazy. And whoever is doing background checks needs to be fired immediately. And as I always say, say, when are we going to go back to the simple principle of hiring people because they're qualified for the job? And there may be more here because I don't know how this kid is able. He's getting shot in a bus and shooting at police and getting caught with guns, seem like every week in the Bronx. Why is he out? Why is he just walking around? Why is he able to do this? Now he goes back to the courthouse and he feels so bold, so emboldened because his mom is the deputy commissioner. He can just pull out a gun and start shooting up other rival gangs right there in front of the courthouse. And mom is driving him. Like, this is a total disaster. But let me know how you feel in the comments section. At this point, these are charges, meaning these are allegations and not fact. These people technically at this point in time, no matter what video or text messages they got, they're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And we have to leave open the possibility that more facts can come out to support the claim of innocence for at least the deputy commissioner. She can say, hey, those text messages are read without context, or she can say, hey, I just drove my son there. We were driving around because he said he wanted to see his friend. He threw on a mask because he said he wanted to surprise the guy. I didn't know it was going to be gunshots at the back of the car. But as always, this is not a court of law. This is a court of public opinion. And what is your opinion about this story? Do you believe prosecutors have enough to get the life sentences they're going to be seeking in both these cases? Do you think the deputy police commissioner was actually an accomplice to her son's murderous rage? Well, I'll keep up with the story. Let me know how you feel in the comments section because it doesn't look good for the deputy chief, but it is what it is. My name is Nate the Lawyer. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to all your YouTube stuff. We're going to see you in the next one. Peace.
Shout out to Nate. Shout out to Nate the Lawyer. Now, I do realize that in Nate's, hold on a second. Shout out to Nate the Lawyer. I do realize in Nate, they didn't talk about the husband. And I believe it was Hannibal that actually talked about the husband. I might pull that one in so they can talk about the husband as well, because I believe the husband was like on the run. Like he's on the lam. So the husband, they're looking for the husband. Like he said, I'm out of here. I'm out. So shout out for sure. Thank y'all, everybody who's jumped in. And who hired her? Right. Everybody, look, there's a lot of investigation needs to go on. Yeah, this is some crazy, crazy work. This is some diabolical work right here. Like, how did we get here? But I want to bring something in before I bring Hannibal in. I just want to make sure you understand why I say DIE policies are horrible. And here it is right here. Proverbs 12, verse 10. Okay. Whoever is righteous has regard for the life of his beast. But this is the sentence I want you to look at. But the mercy of the wicked is cruel. Because the person is righteous here, because the person is righteous, they have regard for those around him. And they say there is beast, but we can apply that to multiple other areas, right? Because of their righteousness, what they're looking to do, the regard that they do is actually beneficial to the one that they're looking to help. It's because of their righteousness. That is what makes their regard beneficial. But going back here, because this person is wicked, what they think is mercy is actually cruelty. It starts in home. Everybody keeps saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. That's basically what you're saying. You're basically saying this. So that's why DIE policies are horrible, and they've always been horrible. I've said this from the beginning of this channel, and I'm pretty sure I'll be saying it at the moment of my last breath. DIE is horrible. Critical race theory is a cult. It's a mind cult. And it makes assumptions of people that you don't have the privilege of doing. So that's why, and we just watched two examples right here. You cannot beat those charges that DIE is what brought these people into prominence. The guy at Cambridge, this lacquered lady up in New York, and we could pull up, I got Brandon Johnson on deck too. We can bring Brandon Johnson up, the exact same thing. Y'all wanted to have the optics of being fair, optics of being merciful, but guess what? You turned out being cruel. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring that Brandon Johnson video in, but I got Hannibal. This show's gonna go long today. I'm sorry, y'all. We freestyling. But I really want y'all to remember that Proverbs 12:10. So that's why I don't rock with DIE policies. God did not tell us to do that. God didn't tell us to do it. because you're making assumptions about people based upon the externals, and we're actually admonished not to do that. That's called partiality. And just because you put a different name on it, just because you put a skin suit of righteousness on it, it doesn't change that it's sinful. My name is Jason, jwitt at jwitt.com. Still saying what? What's going on? What? Somebody saying something? What y'all talking about? Hold on. Somebody over here talking. Somebody talking trash? What you talking about? Real quick. What's going on? All right. I'm gonna pull in. Let me know what was said, drummer. Do I need to set somebody straight? I need to set them straight? What we doing? All right. Let me pull. I know it. I know y'all like Jason. You can't do this, but I got to. I got to bring Hannibal up in here. So let's bring Hannibal back up in here. He talked about it as well. He did 2 videos on it
this afternoon.
But we're gonna. Oh, y'all know I do that on purpose, right? You do know I'm doing that on purpose. Because your business, your company, your entity, your organization will DIE if you embrace DEI. So I'm just going ahead and cut it out and just say it's DIE policies. I know what I'm doing. No, your policies will DIE. Absolutely. I know what I'm doing. But I'm here to pick a fight, though. My name is Jason, jwitt at jwitt.com. No, show me an entity that has thrived with DIE policies. I'll wait. You overlooked qualified individuals. You overlooked people that could do your job with excellence of execution because of the externals of another person, and you brought them in. Show me one that's thriving. I'll wait. It doesn't exist because DEI policies are meant to destroy an organization. That's just it. They're meant to destroy it because guess what? If a person is qualified, if the person has the authority and the ability and the expertise to do the job, you're going to hire them. There is not one company. I mean, pick the biggest company to the smallest little mom and pop. There is not one company, one owner, one president, one CEO that wakes up and say, boy, I want to hire the least qualified person on the block. As long as they're white, I cannot wait to hire the least qualified person to make my company not be productive. I can't wait to hire the least competent person, but they got to be white so that my company will not thrive and won't get cross this threshold, get our next funding or sell this next widget. There is not one company that does that. Every company was trying to make money. That's just it. And these dummies allowed 2020 to cause them to take the eye off the ball of being profitable and put it on externals. So now we're basically sinning, according to James, because James tells us not to do that. So now all these companies are DIE enriched, and they're really sinning because you're looking at somebody saying, oh, you're brown. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. We got to hire you. And you don't know if they could actually do the job. And guess what? We just saw 2 examples. We'll bring Brandon Johnson in for a third. And guess what? You're failing. Chicago is failing. Cambridge has a black eye, pun intended. Cambridge has a black eye. What was that? Mount Vernon, New York is they're in scandal. Why? Because of DIE policies. Oh, we are not going to talk about what they're doing to movies. We're going to save that for another day. We're not going to do it. But show me one that has benefited. Show me one that's benefited. Matter of fact, y'all were talking about the WNBA. The WNBA is a victim of this as well. Well, the WNBA has always been a problem because they've never been an actual league that's been profitable. But they're about to probably go into the darkest season of the WNBA ever. Probably what happened last week and going into this week, we're now in the darkest season for the WNBA. That's just my assessment. Okay, so yeah, feel free to be black, be mad. See, this is the point. Because see, you think that you know better by saying, instead of holding people to the standard of saying, hey, our company standards are these. But you say, well, you know what? Black people can't live up to the standard. Black people can't do that. So we got to lower the standard. Guess what? You're going to end up getting a whole bunch of scuttlebutts in there. And then you lower it even more. You're going to get some more. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm willing to listen. jwitt at jwitt.com. Jason, you're wrong. This company lowered the standard and they got really good candidates. So you mean to tell me they weren't good candidates up here? Like what's the difference? My name is Jason, jwitt at jwitt.com. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here. As our friend Tanas says it, I got all day. There's not one example you could show me where you lowered the standard to quote unquote increase and allow certain people to get in, and you got a higher standard candidate. That doesn't even work. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. The NBA decides that the standard is that you have to be 6'5". They lower the standard to 5'6". They get a Yahoo like me up in there. They're not going to get better. They're not. But they did let somebody in at 5'6". They're not going to get any better. It's just not going to happen. Sure, they're going to get some people who are 5'8" and 6'1". Of course, they're going to get those people in there too. But they're going to have me in there dragging the numbers down. My name is Jason, jwitt.com. I know y'all going to be mad. It's okay. Y'all put mad in the chat. I don't care. I do not care today. I don't care. I don't. Watching this stuff and knowing that there are really good quality people who share my same skin color, who have to fight for this foolishness and have to overcome this ignorance because these retards allow DIE policies in. Now, qualified Black people have to defend that and have to overcome that hurdle, yet another hurdle. It just doesn't make any sense. Whereas y'all lowered the standard and y'all let these Pookies and Ray Rays into the mix when you should have kept the standard high. Now, sure, does that mean that every Black person is going to get a job? Every highly qualified Black person will get a job? No, it doesn't. Oh, mercy. Be right back. Oh gosh. Now I'm being reprimanded by somebody who just was able to vote like 2 weeks ago and reprimanded because they need to go somewhere and they can't drive my rental car. I said, these people are crazy. Anyway, guess what? I told her to go sit down and be quiet. Go clean her room. There you go. Go clean your room. Let's go. All right. We're back though. But for real though, like tell me a company, organization that has lowered the standard to quote unquote let minorities in. Isn't that a slap in the face to minorities? If they say the standard is here, but we're lowering the standard so we can hire you. Isn't that a slap in the face? How does that make you feel empowered? How does that make you feel better? And say, oh wow, I'm working at this company. I'm working at ABC company and they lowered the standards to let me in. How does that work? Okay. Just saying. My name is Jason, jwitt at jwitt.com. Be mad. Scratch your butt, get glad. All right. Shout out to Hannibal, talked about the deputy commissioner as well. So let's do this one. Let's go.
Courthouse this afternoon. 20-year-old Chase Lackard had his own arraignment. Prosecutors say it shows his mother and father driving him around this courthouse, circling no fewer than 4 times before he opened fire from the back seat of their car. Meanwhile, her husband, James Lackard, is, according to law enforcement, on the run and possibly out of state. A manhunt is underway to bring him into custody.
So yesterday we told you about the Mount Vernon deputy police commissioner, well, ex-commissioner, got arrested for driving her son away from a shooting. Well, things got worse. There's more information out there because there's now a manhunt for her husband. He has basically just bounced. And there's more information about how those parents circled the courthouse 4 times. And now she's sitting in Rikers right now. It's crazy. Let's get into it.
Chase's mother, Jennifer Lackard, was arraigned in the same courthouse yesterday. The 49-year-old served as the deputy commissioner for the Mount Vernon Police Department until she was fired yesterday when news of her arrest this afternoon. 20-year-old Chase Lackard had his own arraignment. He walked into the courtroom flanked by officers, not saying anything other than to mouth the words "not guilty" when asked to enter a plea. He's been ordered held without bail. Meanwhile, her husband, James Lackard, is, according to law enforcement, on the run and possibly out of state. A manhunt is underway to bring him into custody. Now, mother, father, and son face a multiple felony charges, including for attempted murder, conspiracy, and weapons charges on the murder charge.
So here's where it gets from a bad story to a completely wild one. So the dad is out there on the run, on the lam, I guess we would call it.
On the lam. Okay, let me point out something too. I think Nate the lawyer's video was earlier, because the very first video I heard about this, they didn't mention the dad either. And I think Nate the lawyer's video was earlier, before they actually mentioned the husband. And so I'm not saying that, Nate is wrong. Definitely not saying Nate is wrong. That's my dude. And I'm not saying that Hannibal's embellishing. Definitely not saying that either. I just think I think Nate's video was just earlier. So that's why you didn't hear anything about the dad in Nate's video. But I digress. Let's go. This is craziness.
Possibly he's not even here. He's outside the state. And there's an active manhunt right now for the husband of the former police commissioner. Now, in my last video, I talked about this briefly, but James Lackard, the husband, already served federal prison time, drug charges. He pleaded guilty, did his time, and got out shortly before his wife took the Mount Vernon job. So this is not a man who had no record and suddenly starts to panic, like myself. This is a man who danced with the feds before, who knows exactly what running looks like. The dude does not want to go back to jail, but I think most likely he's going to probably get caught. Guys on the run who already have a federal jacket don't last long. They know the system, and the system knows them. You don't outrun the feds. Unless he left the country already. But again, at this point, this is a big deal. It's already been on the news. It's just a matter of time before he gets caught.
Now, investigators say his parents drove him to the scene, helped him orchestrate this brazen daytime hit on a rival gang. He did not hit anyone, but surveillance video, they say, captured the entire shooting. Prosecutors say it shows his mother and father driving him around this courthouse, circling no fewer than 4 times before he opened fire from the back seat of their car.
Both shots are fired in the direction of a group of individuals. This appears to be gang related, as one of the individuals that was in that group is a member of a rival set.
So going back to the shooting that the parents now, not just the mother, but the mother and father allowed their 20-year-old criminal degenerate son to shoot at rival gang members in front of a courthouse 4 times. This is the part where she says, well, she panicked. She's just a mom. She didn't know what she was doing. That defense is dead. It doesn't make any sense. You don't circle the courthouse 4 times by accident or from panicking. You don't take turns behind the wheel by accident. Prosecutors say both parents drove, mom and dad, tag teaming the getaway car while their son shoots from the back seat. This is not a scared mother making one bad split decision call. This is a plan. This is a crew. This is a family operating like a gang unit. And she was second in command of the police department, 6+ years. The person whose whole job is to stop things exactly like this. She knew what a coordinated hit looked like better than anybody, because she was sworn to stop them. Instead, she's doing laps around the block waiting for the target. So I don't know what kind of defense she's going to pull, because 4 laps isn't 10. 4 laps around that courthouse is a decision that you made over and over 4 separate times. And each time you had the chance to say, no, we're not doing this. We're going home. I'm a cop. But she didn't. She just continued to hit the gas. So this is not a mistake. This is a choice that she made 4 times over.
So here's the text. So Chase Lackard allegedly, according to the indictment, texted his mother, "Be directly in front when I leave." She responds, "When?" He writes back, You can't just sit directly outside. It has to be timed right.
So essentially here you have the son saying, I'm about to do a shooting. You can't, mom, you can't just sit out there. It's going to be too obvious.
Right. And so Chase Lackard, I want to show you this video too. So Chase Lackard is a known gang member. He is a member of the Slutty Gang. No, I'm not making that up. That's what it's called. And apparently back in November of 2024,
right,
Chase Lackard, was involved in this shooting.
And here's a receipt that puts this all together. We talked about this before, but the text messages. The son is writing text messages talking about
I want to see the text messages before, though. I want to see how they planned this. Like, did they do this over dinner? Like, how did this work out? They're going to create the first family unit in Rikers Island. They're going to have mom and dad and child unit in Rikers Island. They have like the family unit. How did you do this? How did he get shot in 2024 and nobody started looking into his parents and realize like dad has a Fed jacket, mom is a deputy police commissioner, but your son is an active participant in gang life and gang activity and got shot by the police? Okay. There were a lot of drop-offs in this. I'm sorry. Let's go.
in front of the place when I leave. And the mom, the deputy commissioner, is writing back that he can't just sit out front. This has to be timed right. She's not asking, what the hell are you doing? Get back home. We need you to get your stuff together. She's not saying, Chase, don't do this. She's coaching the getaway. She's a tactical advisor. The kid is about to open fire outside a criminal courthouse, and the mother's concern is the timing of the exit. And I don't know why I keep calling him a kid. He's a 20-year-old man.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a coordinated effort from the grown man and his mother.
She was in court yesterday, and now she's on Rikers. They're not clear.
Please put Chase's gang name in the chat. I got Lil Deputy. That's why I got Lil Deputy, but I got another couple other ones I'm thinking of. Please put Chase's gang name in the chat. Please.
She clearly hasn't come up with the bail money yet.
$75,000 is
right.
the bail. So he theoretically could have a bail set today too, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he'll get out because you have to make bail before you get out.
Right. You got to come up with the cash.
Usually it's your parents who help you come up with the cash. But
in this case,
it's a lot more complicated.
She also has some legal troubles of her own. She has been fired, Mount Vernon, and in a statement, the city said that she's not accused of any wrongdoing in the furtherance of her job.
Yeah.
So this happened outside of her job, but nonetheless, the city has cut ties with her.
You think?
She's no longer employed by the city of Mount Vernon, and this story is one of the crazier ones that I've come across in recent memory here.
This moment and probably many moments before this, the badge meant nothing to her. Everything that she was supposedly hired to do, reform, wellness, keeping the community safe, collapses into one text about how to get away clean. This whole situation reads like someone who was in this crime culture the whole time and just who happened to have a badge. This is basically straight out of the movies that we all watch. This is straight out of like The Departed. The cop who's the bad guy the entire movie, how many tips she buried? How many people got a heads up?
That's a good
we
question.
don't know. But when the getaway coaching is this smooth, you have to ask some questions. And here's the part that should make anyone just really, really annoyed. The city's response was, well, this was unrelated to her duties. Nothing to see here. Thank you very much. Are you kidding me? Let's talk about how she got there. Appointed deputy commissioner in 2020. No prior law enforcement experience. None. Handed a brand new 6-figure position. And her husband, the co-founder of the reentry agency, had just got off a federal drug conviction. That's on the record. That's not a secret. You can just do a simple Google search. So my sharpest question isn't even about her today. It's about the people who hired her. Who vetted this? Who looked at a family with a federal drug conviction attached and her son probably going in and out of jail and said, you know what? Let's make her second in command of the police department. That's the failure. That's a system that puts someone with this type of connections one step away from being a top of the police force. Unrelated to her duties? No. This is exactly about your duties, Mount Vernon. Your duty was to vet this person. Your duty was to know who's carrying the badge. Clearly they didn't do that. Now there's a manhunt for the commissioner's husband. So now we have the former police commissioner. She's still in Rikers. I guess she may be having some financial issues. She didn't bail out. So you have a son held without bail. Her son is looking at 25 plus years. He's a known gang member who has been shot by police before. And now you have a father, because that man doesn't want to go back to jail. This is one family, one household in this area. And one person who's supposed to be the wall between the household and the badge, she was allegedly driving the getaway car. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of days. Maybe they'll find this dude. Maybe he'll turn himself in. If he already left the state, then the feds are on him. That's even a bigger problem. But we'll see what's going on with the rest of this case. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Shout out to Hannibal. Shout out to Hannibal. And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to just pull up here again. Whoever works his land, I'm sorry, I apologize about that, 10. Whoever is righteous has regard for the life of his beast, but the mercy of the wicked is cruel. They thought they were being merciful by putting this woman in the office. I'm not saying that she was wicked when she started it. Maybe she had good intentions. I don't know. But clearly, looking at her son, looking at her marital choices, we should have been a little bit more judicious. And what does it do? It's turned into cruelty. I mean, this dude is shooting into a crowd of people at the courthouse. And you don't shoot at people because you want to tickle them. You don't shoot at people because you want them to have a nice day. He was attempting to put somebody's head to bed in front of the courthouse. This woman was driving the getaway car. The husband was in the van with them. The mercy of the wicked is cruel. That's all I'm going to say. I know y'all don't like it. It's okay. I'm here. Y'all don't like it. It's okay. It is going to be okay. You're going to fool around and be all right. Go. I mean, it's like, that's crazy work, man. Because y'all want to institute DIE policies instead of holding somebody up to the standard and saying, like, and standing on their square and say, we hired this person because they met these standards. We hired this person because they fit the bill for what we're trying to accomplish. Now, maybe y'all were trying to do some feel-good, lovey-dovey policing. Okay, fine, whatever that is. But you hired somebody who wasn't even qualified to be a police officer, let alone a meter maid. You hired somebody who was not qualified. Guess what happened? Now you got cruelty running around. Because again, and as Hannibal alluded, how many people have been affected by her policies in the office? Not just the pew-pew sense, but how many people have been affected by that? I don't know who the target was. That's a good point. But whoever it was, that person needs to thank God that they didn't get put to bed that day. This dude is shooting at a crowd of people outside the courthouse. I mean, you might as well just go to the police precinct and start trying to do that. Like, what is going on? That's some wild work, y'all. That's some grade A wild work. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Thank y'all, everybody who tapped in. We were having a good time. It was a rival gang member, but we don't know who the actual gang member was. I'm sorry, I should have been a little bit more clear. They didn't say like he was shooting, Lil Ray was shooting after Lil John Boy or whatever. We don't know who that was. And that's probably better that way anyway. Yeah, this is some crazy work, man. And again, I know some people are gonna get in their feelings. Email management, jwitt@jwitt.com, and we will have you come on the show and you can tell me how DIE policies work properly. And guess what? You might convert me to believe it. You might convert me to believe that lowering the standards improves the quality of the product. I think you might be able to convince me of it. You might be able to convince me if you switch out Big Mama's baked mac and cheese recipe for great value mac and cheese, that you can make them the same thing. You might be able to convince me of that. That using high quality cheese and cheese dust, they could be the same thing. You might be able to convince me of that, but if you have a problem with it, jwitt@jwitt.com. I will gladly listen to you. Maybe you'll convert me to believe it. Maybe you'll make me think I'll become a believer. I might become a believer in DIE policies. Maybe then I'll start saying it correctly. But until further notice, it's DIE convince me. All right. Shout out to y'all. All right. This is the last one, y'all. Stop it. Because Chief Executive Secondborn is President Firstborn is mad at me because she wants me to take her somewhere. And she's like, you're still talking. You're still talking, Dad. Like, yeah. And You mad at me? I got another video. So let's go. There's another DIE hire. It's Brandon Johnson. Shout out to Paralegal Institute. I love Paralegal Institute. Great content creator. If the mods could please just make sure we drop Nate and Hannibal as well as paralegals in the chat. Y'all go over there and check out these brothers. We really do appreciate them. They do some excellent work, and I don't want to give them their flowers. Y'all go over and check them out. Drop some hearts on them. All that kind of good jazz. Let's get going. Let's go.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And, of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories every day. Y'all, we've been talking about Chicago more than usual over the last several days, y'all. It seems like there are so many problems happening in that city. Everything from the Chicago public schools to the teacher pay to whether or not they're going to be laying off people, the budgets, everything. And now, y'all, things have gotten so bad that certain Chicago residents and groups are coming out and pleading, begging the federal government to step in and help with the violence, y'all. Now, the interesting thing is that the official stats say that violence, murders are down in Chicago on a year-over-year basis. But the same stats also say that within this year, murders are ticking up. And that would seem to stand to reason because whenever we go onto YouTube or do any kind of search for Chicago, just the word Chicago, y'all, just the word Chicago, seems like there's no end to the number of people getting shot and killed, y'all. So we're going to take a look at today the fact that Chicago residents are actually pleading with the federal government to help them out. It looks like the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago, Brandon Brandy Boy Johnson, might not be doing as good a job as some people had hoped. Remember, y'all, he is going to possibly be announcing a re-election bid coming up soon, and he has the backing of the very powerful Chicago Teachers Union, y'all. But it looks like the residents are saying, yo, forget Brandy Boy. We need some help from a higher power than him, y'all.
Not a higher
so without
power.
further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Breaking: Chicago police are investigating several deadly shootings across the city. In the Little Village, a 29-year-old man was killed in a drive-by shooting on South Kedzie. In the back of the yards, a man was found shot to death on South Honore. And in West Garfield Park, a 32-year-old man died after he was found shot in the head on South Kilpatrick. Police say that he died at the scene. So far, no arrests have been made in any of those shootings. And breaking this morning out of Albany Park, a woman is dead following a stabbing at an apartment. This happened just before 2 a.m. on North Avers Avenue. Police say that she was stabbed in the neck. No arrests have been made.
So with all of this violence happening in Chicago right now, y'all, you just saw a number of different violent events that happened just over the past 24 to 36 hours. As I said earlier, residents and resident groups in Chicago are saying, yo, feds, can you help us out? Like, can you send us some money? Can you send us some resources? Can you do something? Because we're living in fear here. We're living in terror. And frankly, we can't enjoy our lives. We can't go about our lives as we would hope because of the crazy violence that's happening in Chicago.
Community members coming together, hoping to be heard beyond the walls of this restaurant in Bridgeport, demanding federal aid to address what they're calling a crime surge in Chicago.
When is this going to stop?
From inside Bold Mongol Restaurant at 35th and Morgan.
So the carnage continues throughout Chicago, and we're tired of it already.
Was a plea from community members coming together in the wake of recent gun violence in Chicago.
I'm not counting on the politicians to fix this. I'm not waiting for the police to do anything. We, the people, have to come together and figure out a different way of when we get upset with one another.
Now, y'all, you know what's interesting? Remember when the ice flood happened in Chicago earlier this year? And all the talk was about communities. Don't tear communities apart. People shouldn't have to live in fear. And there were people out on the streets every day, y'all, thousands of people. They formed neighborhood patrols. They used technology. All of this was in order to impede ICE from doing their actual job, y'all. I mean, like their congressionally mandated job. So the people who opposed ICE said, why are you tearing these communities apart? Why are you terrorizing these communities. Where are those people now, y'all? Where are those people when criminals tear communities apart with actually killing people? Where are those people when criminals terrorize the community with crime, with theft, with stealing, with robbing, with murders, with extortion, with gang?
That's some cooking right there. I forgot about that. I forgot about those community groups that were impeding ICE. Y'all put ICE in the chat. I forgot about that. And yeah, why are they not doing this now? Why are they not doing this now to defeat the crime? The crimology. The crimology going on. Crimology? What is it? Criminology? You're a criminal. Only criminals sit out there outside my office breathing through the door. What's going on here? Lord have mercy. Y'all put ICE in the chat. Y'all put President Firstborn in the chat. What are you doing? Y'all really truly don't understand what I have to put up with. As soon as you stop harassing me, I can leave. I really wish y'all could see this. I really wish I could see what she's doing. Bring in the nice agents. Look, I'm all about it. Okay, let's finish this up, y'all.
Activity. Where are all of these people who are so concerned about the community as the regular, everyday, mundane, but very real crimes continue to plague this city that has been plagued by such crimes for decades now?
Police are investigating at least 7 separate shootings with no known connections across the city that left several people injured and at least 3 people dead. That includes a man who police say was gunned down in a deadly shooting near 45th and Honorary around midnight. And 2 hours later in West Garfield Park, police say a 32-year-old man was fatally shot in his temple. 30 minutes after that shooting, police say a 29-year-old man standing outside of a car near 28th and Kedzie was killed in a drive-by. And as the sun rose, gunfire erupting just before 8:30 in the morning, leaving 3 people shot near LeClaire and Lemoyne in Chicago's Austin neighborhood. They were listed in fair condition.
Anybody could be the next victim here. So we're calling on federal funding from Congress. We need more violence prevention initiatives. We need more police. We need more cameras. We need to work together.
So as I said earlier, y'all, well, let me ask you this. Do you trust the stats? The stats say that crime is either up or down depending on which stats you're looking at and what time frame you're comparing it to. Overall, the historical trend in Chicago and frankly across much of the United States indicates that crime, that violent crime, that murders are down. It's not just Chicago, it's Baltimore, it's many of your most violent cities where crime, the statistics say that crime is down. Now, you do also have at least one major prominent situation in which the crime stats were allegedly fake in Washington, D.C. Now, I'm certainly not saying that's happening in Chicago as well, but it does make you wonder.
According to CPD crime stats, through July 31st, analyzed by the ABC7 data team, homicides over the last 12 months are trending up 1.4% compared to last year. However, the murder rate over the last 12 months is down compared to the annual average over the last 3 years.
And in all of those shootings, police have not announced any arrests.
So yeah, y'all, we have communities that are being terrorized. We have communities that are being torn apart through, well, let's see, robberies, drug deals, drug activity, both on the sale and usage side, murders, car theft, carjacking, just all manner of antisocial and frankly dangerous activity. Where are the activists? Where are all of these people who know how to organize, who know how to use signal chats, who know how to post up here and there and alert each other as to when something's happening, who know how to follow people and ram them with their cars? Where are they, y'all? I mean, isn't it strange that only applies to law enforcement activity when you have a group of people? And albeit listen, I'm going to admit it, the way ICE went about it in retrospect wasn't the best way to go about it. I'm just going to say that. They were certainly carrying out their congressionally mandated law enforcement activities, but it didn't work out so well. Okay, so we just have to be honest about that. That wasn't the right way to go about it. They do need to do their job, but they need to regroup. and figure out a way to do it better than how they did it before. And if you say, well, why do you say that, paralegal? Well, the proof is in the pudding, y'all. I mean, you certainly cannot go about your job in such a way that you turn the entire community against you. And I get it, right? I get it. There are people who are out there on ideological grounds, but at any rate, law enforcement has to be able to work with the community. And in as much as you have that.
Real quick. I want to make sure I say this real quick. I rock with Paralegal Institute. I think he's an excellent content creator. And most of the time I agree with him lockstep. I disagree with this little soliloquy right here. I'm just going to let you know I disagree with him wholeheartedly. But I'm going to let him say it because he has the right to say it. He has his position. I totally disagree with him. A whole hat. I disagree with this position. But I just want to make sure because I respect him as a content creator. And most of the time he's right on the button. This one right here, he's wrong.
That kind of pushback, you're going to have to change your tactics. So I'm all for the mandate of getting people who are in the country without permission of telling them, look, you either got to get yourself regularized. You have to regularize your status or you got to go. I'm all for that.
Not Georgia,
but the
Chicago.
tactics, they have to evolve. The bigger question, though, is now that ICE is not carrying out those tactics, where are all these people who have all this time on their hands and all this concern for the community? Where are they? The community still needs you, people. They probably need you far more for the current challenges that they're facing than when ICE was getting people who are in the country without permission out of the country. So y'all let me know. What do you think? Do you think that the federal government's going to hear these people's plea? You think they're going to do anything? And if so, what do you think they should do? Let me know what y'all think. Drop a comment down below. But before you do, please stop, hit the share button. Share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. And we'll see you back in the next one. You know that we are Paralegal.
Shout out to Paralegal Institute. Again, great content creator. I just disagree on that viewpoint. I'm sorry. I disagree about ICE, but we don't have to turn that into anything. Because again, totally respect him as a content creator. Great content. Seemed like a really good guy overall. So shout out for sure. And maybe I need to hear a little bit more about what his viewpoint is. Maybe there might be some similarities and we just don't understand maybe some terms. So whatever. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for tapping in. This was the morning meeting. Thank you to all of y'all. We had better than 100 at one point. Had a lot of people on X checking us out. Shout out to the X people. Shout out to them. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. I'm just going to let you know, I'm going to be traveling this week, so I will be doing some videos. Might not be doing many lives, but I will be back by Thursday and Friday. And I know there's rumor that Candace and Andrew are going to debate on Friday. I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to hold my breath. I think there's just too many reasons for Candace to duck out. There's just too many ways. She's already shown that she wants to duck out. I don't think it's going to happen. I also don't think that Andrew has held her feet to the fire of actually answering some really tough questions. So I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does, if they do debate on Friday, we will be streaming it. Absolutely. And, but I don't think it's going to happen in my opinion, based upon information and belief. I don't think they're going to do it, but I hope that they do. We will be back on Friday, Lord willing, for Friday Night Lights. We will be rocking it on Saturday Night Live this weekend as well. Got some fun stuff planned. But I do want to say thank you again to everybody. Thank you so much to the 100 of y'all that have picked up stuff from the merch store. Thank you. We're almost at 100 pieces being sold. Thank you so much for that. It means a lot. Thank you to the supers. Thank you so much for the Buy Me a Coffees and Cash Apps. But also just thank you to the moderators and thank you to the best live chat on the internet and most electrifying comment section on the planet. Thank y'all so much. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad that we were able to do this morning. Lord willing, we'll be doing it again real soon. I'm going to be gone tomorrow and Wednesday, but I'll be back on Thursday, Lord willing. And y'all, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Let's do this again. Enjoy the musical outro, and I'm going to go get President Firstborn wherever she wants to go because she's going to keep harassing me. I really wish y'all could see what I'm being harassed about. I really wish y'all could see. Pray for me, y'all. She just abuses me. Anyway, y'all, green hearts in the chat on the way out the door. Make sure you tip your waiters. Enjoy the outro. I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace.
Mm-hmm. are the Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for gaining wisdom and discipline, for comprehending words of insight, and for receiving instruction in wise living, and in righteousness, justice, and equity, to impart prudence to the simple, and knowledge and discretion to the young. Let the wise listen and gain instruction, and the discerning acquire wise counsel by understanding the proverbs and parables, the sayings and riddles of the wise. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake the teaching of your mother, for they are a garland of grace on your head and a pendant around your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not yield to them. If they say, come along, let us lie in wait for blood, let us ambush the innocent without cause, let us swallow them alive like Sheol, and whole like those descending into the pit. We will find all manner of precious goods. We will fill our houses with plunder, growing in lot with us. Let us all share one purse. My son, do not walk the road with them, or set foot upon their path, for their feet run to evil, and they are swift to shed blood. How futile it is to spread the net where any bird can see it, but they lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush their own lives. Such is the fate of all who are greedy, whose unjust gain takes the lives of its possessors. Wisdom calls out in the street. She lifts her voice in the square. In the main concourse she cries aloud. At the city gate she makes her speech. How long, oh simple ones, will you love your simple ways? How long will scoffers delight in their scorn, and fools hate knowledge? If you had repented at my rebuke, then surely I would have poured out my spirit on you. I would have made my words known to you, because you refused my call, and no one took my outstretched hand, because you neglected all my counsel and wanted none of my correction in turn. I will mock your calamity. I will sneer when terror strikes you, when your dread comes like a storm, and your destruction like a whirlwind. When distress and anguish overwhelm you, then they will call on me, but I will not answer. They will earnestly seek me, but will not find me, for they hated knowledge and chose not to fear the Lord. They accepted none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof, so they will eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For the waywardness of the simple will slay them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will dwell in safety, secure from the